Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pick City Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Zachary Avi, and beside of me
Oh, I thought you were going to introduce me, man. It's me, Alexander Walker. I'm back,
tonight we are
and
going
I
to be
hope am as right as I was last week for y'all.
primetime picks in week 1. Again, there were 4 because the Friday night games. There'll be 4 this week with 2 Monday night games. Alexander is 3-1. I am 1-3. My most brutal loss coming on that Bills epic comeback game. But on Thursday night, we were on the right side of the game, but wrong side of the spread as the Eagles did not cover. This week, we have an NFC East team involved as well, as the Washington Commanders are headed to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers, who the Green Bay Packers looked dynamic in their first game this year. The Washington Commanders defense looked stout, made Russell Wilson look like he'd never had been to a Super Bowl before. And Jaden Daniels kind of running this mesh point offense with some Debo and Eckler in the backfield. And I heard somebody making a good point that those three guys the fact that any of them can get the ball and any of them can run with it is just going to be hard for defenses to plan for. But the Packers seem to have no problem planning for Sonic and Knuckles of the Lions. So both teams coming in, got to be feeling pretty positive. Short week for both teams coming into Lambeau on Thursday night. And Alexander, I'm going to let you lead the way with this because obviously you're much better than I am at this to begin the year. It's early, but going 3-1. So if people went with you, and not to mention that, you also had some great anytime touchdowns in the primetime games as well. So
I missed on the sprinkle.
But you went 4 for 4 with your guaranteed locks for all-time touchdowns. 3-1 in primetime games. And let me check this just for people to know. You also went 2-1 in your 3 picks on Sundays. An absolute dominant week 1 performance by you. Some would say that maybe that means you're not locked in the rest of the year. Some would say you just already got it figured out. We will get into that. But this Thursday night matchup, it looks like it could be a potential future playoff matchup. We were talking a little pre-show about 2 teams that most people have in the playoffs. Despite Washington having magic last year, they still look like they're going to be a really tough team this year. Alexander, thoughts on this game overall before we make our Thursday night football prediction of our primetime picks?
My thoughts overall would be I didn't think Washington looked that good against the Giants. And to me, if they play like that against Green Bay is going to beat them, and it ain't going to be close. And I really like what I saw out of Green Bay last week. They looked really good. And if they play like that in this, yeah, give me the Green Bay line, which it ends up being 3.5. So, yeah, give me Green Bay. I'm not even thinking twice about it.
Okay. Some storylines of this game before I give my pick. I think that it's going to be really interesting. We saw Micah in limited snaps was very effective. And then later in the game, kind of clutching it out and, rushing the passer, going under. His presence definitely was felt, but that game it wasn't over from the beginning, but the Packers threw the first punch and just kept going. I love that Green Bay was taking big explosive plays. And if you're telling me that they can do that against Detroit, even though I don't think Detroit's back end is like great either, I don't understand why they wouldn't be able to do it against Washington. So I like Dobbs a lot for those big plays again. We saw Reed score. We saw Tucker Kraft be involved early. They love him. This Packers team is confident. They're fully functioning. But I guess my question is there any fear? You said you're not going to think twice about it. Is there any fear that, in my opinion, this just seems too easy to go with the team that has all the momentum, all the offseason talk, all the preseason, get the dominant pass rusher, one of the best in the league? Their quarterback looks like the guy that people were saying that they would pick him over anybody in the NFL. And after week 1, it's like, you see what they're talking about. Any hesitation that just seems too easy as far as the spread goes?
As good as Green Bay looked, I don't see a world that they could stumble in this one. They just look too ready for the season. Where Washington didn't look that way to me. And if you're telling me in 1 week they could be more back to them closer to themselves, I say that's good, but I don't think it's good enough to beat Green Bay with the way they looked.
Yeah, I mean, in a bottle, in a vacuum, whatever phrase you want to use, I think Green Bay at their best and Washington at their best, Green Bay wipes them. But short week, Green Bay is at home also, but short week, quick turnaround. The only hesitation I have is because it feels too easy. I'm sure before the game, we're going to see a graphic, and it's going to be like 85% of America has picked the Packers to win this game. And when a game's like that, it becomes about the spread, and it's like, well, everybody's going to be on 3.5. I'm surprised it isn't more, especially like you said, it's not like Washington looked explosive, and Green Bay's defense was great. I don't know. It makes me a little weary, but I'm going to fade to fade. I'm not going to talk myself out of picking what I fully, truthfully believe this early in the year, at least. So I'm going to go Green Bay as well. So again, our official predictions, Alexander and myself are both taking Green Bay 3.5. I'll let you pick first. People can say I followed your advice. That's fine. But I look for big plays to happen down the field. I look for a lot of movement pre-snap for both of these teams. What I look for mostly is seeing how Micah is actually utilized with this rushing quarterback, this dual threat with Jaden Daniels, who the moment never seems too big. So, Alexander, in our closing moments for our Thursday night football breakdown, is there any game props or anything you specifically like in this game? Don't feel obligated to do it. But again, people, he did go 4 for 4 with anytime touchdowns last week. So if you did those four strictly together, you are up huge right now. So you can afford to do whatever this man's about to tell you. No pressure.
Yeah, this one, for me personally, I won't be betting an anytime touchdown.
Ooh.
But, I mean, if you were gonna pick one on either side, I like Jacobs for Green Bay. It seems too obvious of an answer, so I feel like this would be a one you get burned on type play.
Yeah, and he's
And
probably the
then
favorite for that. So you're not going
yeah,
to make fun there. But
Washington, I mean, if they're gonna be in this game and have a chance, Bill's gonna have to get going, and Bill's gonna have to have a tutty. So, I mean, if you're believing in Washington, I would maybe throw an anytime out there on Bill.
yeah, and to be clear, you're not going to get credit if that happens because that was a light suggestion. But I will say this: if you really like living on the edge, I love in a primetime game going first touchdown because you immediately win or not. Tucker Kraft's going to find the end zone for a second game in a row. I'm not saying it's going to be the first one, but they like this guy. They want to feature him. Yes, they're taking the big shots, but when it comes red zone time and they're looking, they want this guy involved and they want to showcase him to the world. All I've heard all offseason from Green Bay's camp is how he's a top 5 tight end in the league. What better way to show that than on primetime in front of everybody to get everyone buzzing about the guy, which also helps him in the future. Give me a Tucker Kraft anytime touchdown. Book it, lock it. Packers 3.5. I'm not going to move the line up, but I love those together as well. So, yeah, I look forward to having a little extra this weekend. All right, Alexander, any closing thoughts for this game? Go Pack, go.
Yeah, go Pack, and hey, you convinced me. I'll ride with you on the anytime. I
Okay.
wasn't confident in mine. I'll ride with the Tucker Kraft.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
to the Packers fans who last week commented on my buddy's post of saying don't sleep on Dan Campbell, look, people were even more asleep now. Yeah, you were right. Comment before the game works a little better. All right, see you.